All right. Hey, we did this like a week and a half ago with Ben, and
Hmm.
Ben and I both had a week that was kind of slower.
Hmm.
Decided to grab you, even though it's not a week that's slower.
This kind of has a little bit of that reminiscence of driving it home.
There you go. It
Yeah,
does a little
a
bit.
little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Saddle.
when you're the church plant resident, I can say, hey, you want to make a video this week? And you're like, ah, man, it's a busy week. And I can be like, yeah, but you want to make a video this week,
And I'm
right?
like, sure.
Yep. Question becomes a statement. So, no, man, it has been so much fun. And I think one reason I wanted to do this, I'm gonna miss you. Like the last 18 months, almost 2 years have been good.
Yeah.
They've been good. I've enjoyed it. Um, it's good. It'll be good to see you guys go because of why you're going.
Yes.
That makes it fun.
But we're dreading the day that we do go.
Yeah,
We love this church.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had that. You're not there yet. We've had that experience a little bit with a couple of them already. Of like you raise up your kids to go, and not that you're our kid, but it is a
It
daughter
feels like that,
church.
right?
It is a daughter church, so you want to see it go, and it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for you guys. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think one of the things has been fun. We've talked about you did an excellent job leading our church in worship for months.
Appreciate that.
And yet that's not what you were called
Mm.
toward,
Mm.
right? And so for the last 3 weeks, especially, I mean, it's been on and off throughout your whole residency. We've gotten to hear it, but last 3 weeks have been you getting to preach
Yeah.
back to back to back. And then this week we'll be back.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah.
what's it been like? What's the experience for you of have you ever, did you preach back to back ever?
Never.
Never.
I think you
Okay.
tried to get me to do it a year ago when
Okay.
we first started to talk
Yeah.
about assessment, but it didn't work out. But man, it's been fun. Like
Yeah.
I'm dreading this last Sunday being my last Sunday to preach 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
It's really helped me to stretch out my legs a lot and get into the groove. Like once you get into a good groove,
Yeah.
you kind of find your voice. And man, I really love that part about it. One of the blessings of getting to preach 4 or 3, coming up on 4 weeks in a row, is the connection that I get to have with the body.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
just, I don't know, when you're able to communicate with someone every week, every day for that matter, you just build a bond that's a little different than just walking through the halls and saying, "Hey, how you doing?" or calling somebody. But like just the connection with the body in the church has been wonderful. But finding my own voice,
Yeah.
I think, has been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but it doesn't come without its consequences. Like you need to be purposeful in how you plan.
Yeah.
When you come home on Sunday, you're almost putting together the outline that night, so that on Monday you're ready to roll again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. No, I think that voice thing's helpful. It's helped me before. I remember one time we had like a Greenville celebrity. I won't say who it is, but may have played in the NFL. Showed up at our church and people asked me like, "Hey, are you nervous? Are you nervous?" And it's like, "Am I nervous that a football player is at our church?" No, and I made the joke of like, put John Piper in the back row of the church and I'm going to be nervous, right? And I think that becomes a thing. Like you can listen to preachers on podcasts or videos, YouTube or whatever, and they're like, some guys are just gifted. And yet you realize, like, I think I've come to a place where it's like we appreciate guest preachers, we rotate the elders here that want to preach. And yet what makes us able to do it is exactly what you're talking about. We're together. We're part of the same body. And so even for that, for you, like that'll be fun to watch the body form at Richmond, and the preaching will probably shift a little bit to who they are, but they will also shift because of who you are.
That's right.
And that'll be really cool to see.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's been enjoyable so far.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So you've been doing that while at the same time I mean, we've seen it on your plan that you've been making every week, working on this church planter assessment questionnaire, which has been, how many pages do you think it was?
Oh, dude, by the end of it was like 66, 67 pages.
Okay.
And I try to keep things brief, but yeah. But thorough. Keep things brief but thorough. A lot of guys tend to go all out on it and add like get real brainy and theological on it. I just kept it simple,
Yeah.
but got to the point.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah. But 66, 67 pages of just any question that you think they'd ask a church planner, from head, which is
Yeah.
theological distinctives, heart, habitat, hands, missions, multicultural, everything, man. So yeah, Lisa even had to fill one out on her own.
Yeah.
Wasn't as much as what I had to do, but she knocked hers out in like 2, 3 days. I don't understand how she can do that. She just poured through it and got
Yeah.
it done. But for me, I had to take it in chunks. I kind of get bored with things quick. So I gotta like do a little bit, take a little break, do a little bit. So you saw it on my plan
Yeah. Yeah.
every
Pretty
day
much. Yeah.
for a
Tackled
long
it and
time.
just
Yeah.
kept down to
But
it.
it's
Yeah.
done. We
Yeah.
got it in, right?
So that means that's just the paperwork.
Yeah.
And then explain a little bit what's going to happen about 2 weekends from now.
Yeah.
Two
Lisa,
weekends from the weekend
yeah.
coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa and I are headed down to Louisville, Kentucky, for the Harbor Church Planner Assessment. That's on the 19th and 20th. And the 19th, we'll go down there and we'll just kick it with their people, have dinner, probably meet some of the assessors. You've been the one.
Yeah.
So the dinner, I think, is just meeting the
Mhm.
assessors. And then that next day, Lisa and I will come back, shivering and biting our nails for the assessment. The way I understand it, the assessment's just a little bit different this time around, where they have like a couple
Mhm.
who will like travel with us from room to room. Are they doing
Yeah.
room to room
Uh-huh.
this time still?
Mhm.
And kind of like be there with us to kind of keep us calm, talk to us, understand the details of our lives, so that if that's not communicated to each section, each assessor, they can kind of be there to fill in the gaps, if there's some that still need filling. So be praying for us for
Yeah.
that. That's going to
Yeah.
be, we're going to be a little nervous, though I think we will be fine.
Oh yeah.
I think the nervousness will settle in and we might not answer questions the way we should, or we'll leave some things out, but hopefully, we'll feel calm and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's what, September 19th and 20th,
Yeah.
something
What
like
did I say?
that.
Did I
Right
say
around, no, I think,
yeah,
yeah,
19th,
just
20th.
around there. Yeah, be praying for them. Actually, it's kind of cool. I don't know if we finalized this when we talked before or not. I'll be down there.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not going to be assessing Marco. I'm just one of the guys they'll have. I think I signed up for hands. So they do head, theology, hands, practical ministry.
Mhm.
Heart is like both a marriage assessment type tool of
Mhm.
how the family's communicating, and then your own soul care.
Yeah.
And Brian and Janie Reesnider are going down as a pilot couple,
Cool.
which is again, they won't have Marco. That would be kind of awkward, but they go along and they're one of those couples that just encourages the couple getting assessed and helps connect the dots and stuff.
Yeah.
So
And
there'll be a few of us down there.
yeah, and I heard Jason
Bradshaw will be there too.
Yeah, but
So
of course he won't be assessing
no,
us.
yeah. So basically, it's going to be the only people that don't know you will be the people that are there assessing.
I think that
So,
will give me some,
yeah.
some calm, knowing I got some friends available.
Yeah,
some filters
good,
I
good.
can
And
hide.
Woodard will be there. Brandon Woodard, who's speaking at the men's breakfast,
Yep.
will be down there in a couple weeks after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool.
Yeah, man.
Cool. So you'll come back from that. It'll probably usually takes, which is agonizing, a couple weeks
Yeah.
to hear back, and then you hear back about it and things. I think we're in a whole different place than the last assessment.
Oh yes.
Last
most
assessment
definitely.
was like, well, let's just see what you think. And they
Yeah.
were like, yeah, we see this in the future, but now's not the timing.
Right.
Now you got the prospectus, you
Yes.
got people that have been showing up and
Yeah.
meeting, and I think we're both anticipating a different outcome.
Yeah, and that's one way you could be praying for us, is that we're looking for a yes. There's always a possibility the Lord wants to shift. We don't believe that's it, but we don't know
Right.
what's in the mind of the Lord
Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we believe we will get a yes, and we're in a different spot. Like this church plant residency, like I needed this. So I'm glad you guys were able to afford me this ability to do this.
Yeah, I agree. So then you'll come back, you won't get an immediate answer right away. So people don't the Sunday after the assessment go, what'd you hear? What'd you hear? You probably won't hear yet. But then what do you think, like after you get back and things, what do you anticipate the next couple months looking like as far as for Sola, for you and ministry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at, so that will take us through September. We'll probably come back and just chill um, talking about how the assessment went. And then October, Lisa and we've been gifted with a spot to put up a Sola City Church booth for the 4th Street Fair. So we'll be getting everything together for that table and what do they call that? A skirt that has Sola City Church on it. And,
Okay.
yeah, whatever.
Not a skirt for the table.
For the
Not
table.
Lisa's not going to be wearing a Sola City
that's a
skirt.
good idea.
There you
That's a
go.
good idea. But
And a kilt for you.
we'll be getting stuff ready for that. And then November, we were invited to speak on multicultural church at North City Church in Indianapolis. So that's another thing you could be praying that God will continue to bring about partnerships, other churches and people that will partner with us in what we do. So, yep. So we got the 4th Street Fair. We have the talk at North City Church. And then I'm really looking forward to what's going, because I talked about Sola City now. I still am employed at Grace. But we have the leadership meeting coming up here soon. And so we put together like a ministry assessment team that will kind of help with that ministry org chart and assess ministry. So I'm really looking forward to kind of ironing out some of those details.
Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna take advantage of his org chart mind and get him to help get some things in line. Because when I've tried to do it,
done a great job.
It doesn't happen. No, it hasn't happened. It's been a struggle bus.
Yeah, but you got other things going
on. Trying, but it's been, we'll get to take advantage of more than just your presence and enjoying you. Yeah. We'll get a couple more gifts out of you that way too. So I had 2 other things in parentheses, and this tells you how much prep we did for the podcast. We didn't talk about whether we wanted to cover either one of those.
That's
you step in, okay.
Yeah,
I know, like, you're even working on kind of drafting a email to go out to the body about the mediation arbitration conversation we've had with membership covenant and stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to throw in about that?
No, the only thing I want to say about that is, I think our elder team is ready to move forward. We've given, we've prayed about it. We've talked to the body about it. We've done the membership meetings and answered questions, and hopefully we did our best to answer the questions. So we haven't heard anything back about it. So I think as a team we're ready to move forward with getting the body to sign the membership leadership covenant. So just be looking for some things to come out, an email that will come out to you guys about like, hey, we're ready. Are you ready? You have any more questions? Yeah, do you have anything else?
Yeah, no, I mean, hear us on that. It's not drop the hammer, we're ready.
Yeah.
It's saying we think we could move forward with it. And if you have reservations, hesitations, concerns, we can still figure out how to work through that. And with that, we're not saying we're pushing you to the curb or anything like that.
Right.
And even like we talked about, maybe some of it could fit in an email, some of it might be better dialogue for the next membership meeting. Of some of the feedback you've given, being able to kind of speak into that and address it, and then find out with whether we're saying is actually helping bridge the gap or it's caused even more confusion. So we're still getting stuff done with that a little bit, even as we move forward. One other thing, like as we're kind of going into the fall, we're seeing some things jump up. Pretty excited about, I think I mentioned it in the last podcast, but it's 75% of the way done now, maybe. One gift of Marco preaching the last 4 weeks, there's a couple cool things with it. One, it's an experience for you. Second of all, there's been people show up that are Richmond people, and it gives them a chance to hear you preach live. Be praying about some of those, might have the potential of joining the core team, being a part of that. Another one is by it being videoed and posted on the web, you can crop those videos, and then in the future he can do one of 2 things with it. He could either send it to people of like, hey, you want to check out what we're about, go for it. Or we even talked, when you're small, it almost feel like a combination of what we do with life groups and preaching, or what Ben does with like youth group, of having the lesson and then their small groups. He'd get his core group together in his house, and they can talk through loving one another, and then they could actually show the video instead of, I don't know if you've ever tried this or not, it's awkward in your living room to preach to 8 other people.
Yes.
So to just watch the video is also awkward because you hear your own voice, you see your mannerisms, you see how often you go over your mouth with your hand. You see that stuff, but it's a little bit easier if
Yeah.
it's video. So that hopefully will serve him. I'm excited of another way it's helped serve Grace. We are hoping this fall to roll out a new like elder study.
Mhm.
And I've always enjoyed Strock, but felt like it had some blind spots. I enjoyed Timothy Whitmer, but felt like it had some blind spots. And now it's kind of trying to pull both of those things together.
Mhm.
So been working on that. And feel like, yeah, it's been a good summer,
Mhm.
but it's like, man, fall is coming and there's things that are ramped up, not just to keep people busy or keep it active. That doesn't accomplish anything, but really with the desire to see people grow in Christ,
Yeah.
and see our church effectively serving the Lord together.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're poised and we're in a good place for
Yeah.
that.
What was your purpose in putting that elder study together?
So the grand thing of it is I'm saying that a shepherd there's 3 P's that go with being a shepherd. It's provision, which ends up being the word.
Mhm.
It's protection, which is actually the chapter I'm just now starting to work on, which is everything from caring for um, women and children to the sick,
Yeah.
to church discipline situations, things like that, watching for false teaching.
Right.
But the third one is presence.
Mhm.
And I think some of it's to speak into a lot of, well, you went there, and it's one of my favorite passages with service, like one of the parallels, Matthew 20:28, that Jesus came not to be served, but to
Mhm.
serve and give his life a ransom for many, that we don't lord over like the Gentiles do. And it just seems like so much material out there about how Christians should lead is actually just borrowing a lot of the world's methods with slightly different outcomes. And Lord willing, this brings more of a, shepherds don't drive cattle, and shepherds don't drag along behind them with a leash. Shepherds stay in the middle of the flock, and then they try and lead the flock in a direction as they go it too. And so hopefully, for guys that would be interested in becoming elders at our church, it'll help equip them. For guys that are just interested in shepherding well in their own homes, in their neighborhoods, it would help with that as well. And then for other guys, just, man, the more guys who understand what shepherding looks like, the more our church can pray effectively for our pastors.
Amen.
So
Amen.
that's kind of the goal.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's it.
Right? Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. I don't know if we'll do another one of these before you go. We'll have to figure out something. We'll have to do one
We'll
of these.
see.
I enjoy these more than he does. So I also enjoy making him do them. So
This will help me get my nervousness out before
there you go.
the
There you go.
assessment.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, just if you're nervous, just cover your mouth.
Just go around.
There you go. So.